Welcome to Stevie G's Energy Corner. I'll be Stevie G, and today we got Dylan Clinton, not related to Mr. President Clinton, and Mike Estes from AQuest. Talk a little bit energy conservation about, fixing hospitals and making sure we don't get sick from viruses, the infamous Legionella. So how are you guys today?
Doing good, Steve. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We all flew into Vegas. We're sitting out here in Vegas. It's what, 9,200 degrees?
It's about that.
Yeah, warm out here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, you got that. So Michael, you put a little sunscreen on your head over there?
I got to wear a hat out here.
You're looking pretty tan.
I got to wear a hat out here.
So, hey, last time you were on the show, we talked, a lot fixing up, doing the Phoenix VA and down in Biloxi and everything. So I see where you got your legs, associate here that's been down to Phoenix walking around. So what's happening down there in Phoenix these days?
Well, we're working a lot now with the VAs, Phoenix in particular, but we're doing a lot of basically energy projects. So what we're doing is we're optimizing the coils, cleaning them, making sure they're running more efficiently. Also has an IAQ aspect to it. So if there's any issues with Legionella, that's addressed as well. But working through performance contracts or UESC contracts to show energy savings so those hospitals can serve the way they're supposed to serve. Able to take care of our vets, able to take care of all the.
So I know that you aren't walking through the facilities. So, we got to give Dylan credit because
Absolutely.
Dylan's the one that's walking through the facilities, right? Taking on the notes.
That's right.
Yeah. So over here in the Southwest, I'm, walking through the facilities, places all over the Southwest, Southern California, out here in Vegas, as well as Arizona and Utah. So see a lot of different type of climates.
Well, I'm kind of glad to see you put long
Southwest
pants
region.
on being a surfer boy.
Yeah.
You've been out there surfing a little bit.
Little bit.
Because you moved from Florida to California and San Diego. So
Yeah.
you got a surfboard now?
Yeah. Much colder water out in
Yeah.
California than Florida, though.
So does that mean you're playing more of the Beach Boy music now there, buddy?
A little bit, but I hear you're headed to Florida.
I'm
Is that
headed
right?
to Florida, getting
Yep.
down there to go down to Cape Coral or,
It's a good spot.
yeah, because they got the water, got a little view of the pool, sit out of my lanai, make phone calls to you guys.
There you go.
Making sure you're walking through the facilities or which ones we're going to, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
we're here in Vegas to check out working with the Vegas VA
That's right.
and Creech Air Force Base and Nevada Corrections
Naval Air
Facility.
stations all over. I mean, a really big push this year for federal government. They need help. They've got a lot of funding set aside for it. They have directives to go for it, and we're here to help them out with that. Get those energy savings.
So I know I've listened to your presentation a few times, okay? I still don't know what the total temperature, the hot water, steam, cold, and power wash. So just give everybody a little snippet of what the power wash, the chemical, and temp.
Yeah. So basically, what it is,
So you can educate Dylan because Dylan's the one that's going to be out there. So
in general, we
know you're the old man, so you can tell.
We've called it CCOM is the name of the solution that we're delivering to these facilities, and it's continuous coil optimization and monitoring. So CCOM, but basically what it comprises of is three parts. First is the exterior coil restoration. So we're looking at large chilled water systems, 12,000 CFM or larger. A lot of these VAs have 20, 30, 40,000 CFM air handlers that are critical systems. But we're looking at the exterior of the coils, and those coils are 8, 10, or 12 inches thick, 280-degree water, 1,000 PSI, using a probiotic. So that probiotic is what we're really using to address the biofilm,
Right.
which are going to cause issues with heat transfer and IAQ.
So is it the biofirm that you guys are the ones doing your presentations, right?
Mhm.
Is it the biofirm that's got the virus, the whatever you call them, the bodies in there that you got to kill because is it the chemicals or is it the heat or is it the combination of all three to kill what those organisms are that's like Legionella and that infamous COVID word, stuff
So
out there?
Yeah, so biofilm itself doesn't have it doesn't cause that. But what biofilm does is it harbors those types of viruses. Even COVID can live in the biofilm because what it does is a thick polymer. It's called the EPS or extra polymeric substance, and it's
Say
thick.
that
It's
3 times, would you?
yeah, right. It's slimy, it's dense, And what it does is it holds other things, bacteria, dirt, debris, odors. But what its main issue that we found is it's a very good insulator, which is the exact opposite of what you want on your coils. So we address it from the exterior. But that's only part one of the solution, though. So the second part, the tubes. So those chilled water tubes that have the even though it's treated water running through it, they still form biofilm. So we're really addressing the biofilm from the exterior and the interior. And what you see with interior issues though is as far as heat transfer, reduced heat transfer, reduced delta T, reduced chilled water flow, all coming from the interior of the coils.
So it's the direct opposite of what you would do with geothermal polyethylene pipe, where you want it on the pipe to be able to transfer the heat.
Yeah.
You're saying with these coils, you need them to be clean
as possible
so that you can get the transfer.
Right. And that's the thing. If you're looking at the HVAC system as a whole, and this is really kind of the backbone of what we do, is the coils are really that center point where you have your chillers, your cooling towers, your pumps, your blowers. It all comes together for one thing, and that is the heat exchange of the cooling coil. So any deficiencies of the cooling coil are going to be exponential throughout that entire HVAC system. So why work on all these other people? Focus on this, and you'll get the best efficiency.
So then you got Dylan going out there to do the assessments, going through, looking at the 520 whatever units over 500 CFM. Isn't that what you said? 500?
12,000 CFM or larger.
12,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get him to do extra work. Start with the 500s and work his way up to the 1,200. Because I know that, like we said, there's like maybe 50 to 100 of them on military bases. There could be what, Dylan? 50 and what did you find in Phoenix?
Oh yeah,
the
we see a big mix of ranges, but anywhere from 40 up to a couple hundred, depending on the bed size of facilities at the sites. So yeah, a lot of air handlers to serve these critical areas.
So I know you haven't been through the whole hospital yet because you just started and they've asked you to come back to put the whole assessment together.
Yep.
So how many units you think you're going to be going back to look at?
Depending on the range they're going to be dealing with about anywhere from 15 to 40 units that are those large units pushing a lot of CFM and using a lot of energy. So those are the real ones that we can come in and provide significant energy savings on, and also help that, indoor air quality and heat transfer as well.
So we know you moved from Florida, where you're down there in God's country of the humidity, Orlando, with Mickey and the mice. Okay, now you're out there in Disneyland with the mice in California. So have you kind of like gotten your feet used to where you are and, being able to figure out how to get around down there in Southern Cal?
Yeah, it's been great so far. You have to figure out the areas with traffic, that's for sure. But a lot of the people I'm meeting, they're early in there before the patients arrive or before people get into the facility. So a lot of the times we're setting up those early meetings before it gets hot and checking out the facility, beating that traffic.
You said that you kind of figured out that you didn't want to be in LA and Hollywood, that you moved kind of down by San Diego. So that means that you're down there with the Navy, the Naval Hospital, Coronado, Naval and Coronado. You got Camp Pendleton. It's halfway up the coast, before you get to Long Beach. You got Seal Beach. So you got plenty of territory.
Yeah. And
to keep you busy.
Yeah, some good VA hospital in Long Beach as well. And it's a good spot there, just in North San Diego, to be able to, go up to LA, hit Orange County, Southern California, and then easily pop over to Vegas or Phoenix to check out stuff over there as well.
Because I was going to say, I know Camp Pendleton's got two hospitals. Got the old hospital, what we call the new hospital, that's probably like 15 years old now. So it's probably the perfect time to go in there, get with Freddie Spees and the guys to go in there and do the assessment there at Camp Pendleton. Yeah. And then, like you said, you can jump on I-10 or 8 going out over to Palm Springs and get up to China Lake and 29 Palms military base, besides all the hospitals. So
it's interesting.
Looks like Michael looks like you got a whole business plan there worked out for this guy.
That's right. We'll keep him busy.
He keeps me busy.
Yeah. Keeping Dylan busy and keeping all the other regional sales director busy is my number one priority.
Yeah, because you said that Dylan is like from Fresno South, which is like about I-10.
Yep.
And then everything above it is
Theo.
Theo up there that's taking
Yes.
care of Palo Alto, Sacramento, VAs,
Washington,
San
Oregon.
Francisco.
Washington,
Yeah.
the Presidio in Monterey,
Yep.
Presidio San Fran.
Yeah. And we cover the entire country. So we've got, West Coast split up. We've got the East Coast, everything in between. Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Georgia, Maine, New York City ×2, DC, and Florida. So those are kind of our hubs.
Right.
But we cover the entire country. So anywhere, and we're also doing international work now too. So
That's what I heard. You're going
Yeah.
down to Puerto Rico, Mexico,
Mexico,
Jamaica.
Yep.
He's probably upset that he got out of Florida because he could have been doing Jamaica.
I don't know.
I
don't know if
Jamaica,
maybe
man.
try to get some
I don't know if his Spanish is good
Bahamas.
enough
Yeah.
for the Puerto Rico.
So I've been trying to catch up on some Spanish.
But I was gonna say, I bet
it's
he's
gonna take
having to
some
learn
time.
a little bit being in Southern California now, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Working on it.
Phoenix, Tucson.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna learn a whole lot of Spanish. I mean, may not be the words you want him to learn.
Business Spanish.
Yeah.
Business Spanish.
Business Spanish 101
Yeah, right. Versus
or 501, the graduate level courses.
versus street Spanish, a little different.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm getting at, because you guys going in, because we all know the pandemic really freaked everybody out. Everybody was, whether you believe in it, not believe in it, need to stay home, not stay home, you still were leery of going into the medical facilities, what's there, what germs are there. So with you guys doing this, you also got another program, right, that we haven't even touched on as far as monitoring, because the old rule of thumb, remember we used to always have the rule of thumb, like, hey,
Do it
you
every
change
year,
filters every
6
so
months.
often.
You pick a time frame, right?
Right.
Now, that's the third part of the CCOM is the monitoring. So the continuous coil optimization, and then the M is monitoring. And that is something that really has been excellent at helping us really quantify those energy savings from these projects. Because, you can go out and do all this optimization of the coils, but if somebody asks, well, how well did it work? You just got to be like, take my word for it. It worked really well.
Oh, trust me.
Trust me.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's
The
better.
infamous trust me.
Yes, it's better now than it was.
Right.
Well, they're not going to buy that.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to go for any kind of incentive, utility rebates, or you're looking to work with an ESCO or a UESC kind of type of contract, they need numbers. So that's where the monitoring comes in. And it is the only system that is available on the market that actually monitors the true performance of the coil, and that specifically coil-centric approach of looking at how is that coil operating.
Okay, so I'm a building owner, right? Facility guy, like our buddy Sean Nolan down there in the Navy. We'll pick on Sean down at the
Okay.
Navy Pensacola, okay? So is your system going to be easy for me, or am I going to have to go like some of the other manufacturers that we won't mention, that I got to go to their school, I got to spend a week learning all this stuff?
Yeah.
Is your system going to be able to be put on the normal, everyday computer that I'm going to be able to have my guy over here, look at it, understand it, and go forward? Or is it going to be one of those multi-layer things that I've got to study and have a book, and if something gets messed up, like other manufacturers, I got to go through the pages to go find
No.
what that air code is,
Very user-friendly, very intuitive. It was designed to be deployed quickly, get data flowing very quickly. There are longer-term programs if you want. It's BACnet compatible API call points. But the initial setup, we install 9 different telemetries. It's got a cellular modem. Everything goes to the cloud. We don't need Wi-Fi connection. We don't need Ethernet. It is a standalone system, which actually really helped us a lot with any of these DOW sites.
Right.
Because they don't want anything connected to their system. A lot of these federal sites want no access. So this is perfect. You send it to the cloud. You use your laptop. You use your cell phone. As long as you have the username and login, you get all the information. All the telemetries. All the telemetry is done.
Man, it's a VA calling you.
Yeah, right.
The shit ain't working. We need your help. Get over here. Dylan, call me.
But all the telemetries, 10-second intervals, you have all that right to the dashboard. You can download it, do whatever you want. But really what you're looking for is, so now you answer, how fouled are my coils? And what's the rate of fouling? What's the energy consumption? So now you can take that data, send it into a utility rebate program or to an ESCO, and they can see, hey, these are actual numbers. These aren't pie in the sky or made up, calculated. This is
Right.
real numbers based on real data. And then all of it, everything that we do, as far as the monitoring, the optimization, we're trying to extend the life of the unit. If you clean it and you take care of it, you're going to have a better performing unit for a longer time, and you're not going to have any issues.
Yeah, because I know most of these units have a lifespan of 15 years, maybe 20 years, the normal quota time. But if you take care of them, you can get them to go 25, 30. Because we all know the VA and the federal government does not have a replacement budget, an O&M replacement budget that, okay, year 15, we know we got to change this unit out. It's not. It's kind of like the post office has. What's their maintenance program? When it breaks, we go get a new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we're looking at, is a way to extend that time that they got to go to Congress, or even state and local government people the same way don't have an operating, so that they can say, hey, guess what? This is finally going to break. That's kind of plan for it kind of deal. So you can kind of set that deal. So, so with doing that, then so I know that we're going to like down in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. You know, I know you got other folks going here, because we know we ain't sending Dylan all over, right? Sorry, Dylan, you don't get to go hang out in New Orleans, okay? Mardi Gras is going to have to wait for you.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you got all of California. You got state of Washington's got to be tough, because their utility rate is like dirt cheap.
It is in certain regions, but we're really finding that some programs are just so well funded that it's not necessarily the dollars, it's not the payback that they're looking for. They're just trying to take KWH off the grid, and they're going to pay money to get that off the grid.
Okay.
So it's not always a factor of payback.
So, and of course, we know we got Florida. You got Florida, the VA's down there, the Air Force Base. You know, you got MacDill. Then we got the whole Panhandle with the Navy. And speaking of the Navy and the Panhandle, we're now going to do an utility energy services contract. And everybody that notices out there, it says utility energy savings contract, just to play on words, because we're trying to save money and utilize. So, but it's service contract that we're going to do down there in Panama City Beach on August 10th. No, August 12th, 11th and 12th, down there, that you're going to be speaking on the technology specific with SciPac and a few others, geothermal technology of what can be used through the federal government contract vehicles for both state, local government, and the feds. And you guys are going to be there. And I guess we'll let Dylan come so he can get a little more education. You know,
maybe he'll be visiting home.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, so we got that coming up in August, so that we're going to have our buddy Sean, Nolan from Pensacola, and Chris Hood from Herbert, and Jason from Whitingfield, and a few others down there, and in the Southeast, NSA Jacks out of Jacksonville, and the VA's coming over. Then we're going to have a great group with Florida Power and Light, the utility, hosting it, and Optera Energy is going to be the platinum sponsor. So we've got a good round of what I want to call roll up your sleeves, working, networking, workshop, more than your normal pretty PowerPoint presentations.
Right.
So if somebody comes up to you and go, hey, Michael, I got this problem. My units ain't working to full capacity. My utility bill is out the yazoo. When can you come and do my assessment? So that's kind of what we're working towards in August, And then, of course, we got Florida Power and Light, Southwest Gas, some of the other utilities coming to talk about their programs, how we can use your technology and other people's technology to come help the facilities reduce their energy and mainly their costs. Because we all know facility guys, their main deal is, I don't want to have my phone ringing by my boss telling me something don't work.
Disruption,
right?
Yeah, and that's what's so good, talking about the fact of covering the whole country. A lot of actually the monitoring and predictive maintenance schedule, we're able to see specifically for that facility, because what I find versus in California and Arizona, the coils foul very differently compared to if you're on the coast or in the desert. So a lot of these directives of how often the coil should be cleaned, in one like geography, you could be over cleaning that coil when it's still clean, or in others with a lot more dust up in those desert areas, those coils are getting plugged up a lot quicker. So they're just spending that extra money, over cleaning or under cleaning, and that's what that monitoring can help out.
And let's take the state of Texas, because I remember back in the 70s with ASHRAE, that whole energy conservation method and what you're going to do and guideline. Texas had like 5 different climate zones from going from Austin to the west, West Texas, the desert side to southeast, all over. So you got the same thing kind of like in California too, because the weather in San Diego is supposedly quoted 72 degrees year round kind of thing, except when the June bloom comes in.
Yeah.
But then you got the desert of Palm Springs where you got the military bases,
Yeah.
Edwards Air Force Base, and you got all that desert sand dust and sandstorms, and I forget what they call that wind coming in April, you know, that comes in and blows all that dust. Yeah, Santa Ana winds.
Yeah.
So you got that too. So to your point, Dylan, you're right.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have the monitoring, because you just can't do rule of thumb saying I need these guys to come every 6 months.
Yeah. And you're losing out when you do it. If you're looking at just a set schedule, you really don't know when you should be doing it. So we're really looking at
you're overdoing it. And you're paying
overdoing it, or you're underdoing it. Either way.
And I love you, Michael, but I don't need you coming more times than I need you. Okay.
Well, and that's right, because it really got to balance. What's the cost of this, the maintenance, and what's the cost of you not doing the maintenance, right? Where does the inefficiency and the cost of maintenance intersect? That's where you want to do it.
Right.
You want to make sure that if you let it go, it's going to cost you money. But if you do it too early, it's going to cost you money. You want that right where those two meet. And that's what we're looking for.
And that's kind of what we talked when we were in St. Louis just a couple of months ago, right? St. Louis and Kansas City and Iowa City, you know, they're all in the Midwest, but even their climate and what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, is totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
And you got the different seasons as well. You know, you got, you know, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So you got to figure out what you're going to need, when you need it, stuff. And the hospitals, you know, they're really good at what they do, and that's taking care of their patients.
Yeah.
It's not their job to take care of the operating of the maintenance and running the units to make sure the surgical rooms are 32 degrees or whatever it needs to be for surgical, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, I haven't been in one in a while. Okay?
That's good.
But you know what I'm saying is that their main goal is to take, and same thing with the VA, is to take care of the veterans.
Right.
Like our good buddy John behind the set over there, you know, is to take care of that, of the vets. So your role and my role and stuff is to educate the facility guys and find a way that they can get this done without having them to burn their budget of the medications and stuff that they need to buy for our veterans and their patients at Children's Hospital, what have you. So.
Hey, Stevie, we got a question from one of our viewers here.
Yeah.
Wanting to know about, is this strictly for the feds, or are there applications for maybe the smaller businesses? I mean, take your casinos here in Las Vegas and some manufacturing, plants that use chillers and large air handlers. Is that something that?
Absolutely. When we're talking, you know, we talk to federal government, we talk state and local, but the commercial entities, the casinos, man, the casinos, you know, we all know how cold it is because they got to keep it cold in there. Vegas is 100 degrees today, 105. So mainly it's any system that has a large air handler,
large chill
that
water
is going to work, chill water system. And the casinos are like, I don't want to say, you know, the pavement is painted gold, but they definitely have where they've got the units that they need to have it maintained.
You want to keep those occupants happy.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
playing.
Hey, if you notice, the casino has no windows, all right, no clocks, and they keep it ice cold so that you're in there to gamble because the house takes 80%, or maybe 90%, John, right?
Yeah.
It's gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
it
yeah, no, the
rolls.
casinos are, you know, the operators and the owners of the casinos, I know they make, within 3 months' time, they pay off a $100,000 slot machine that used to be in the 80s. Okay, no telling how fast they pay back now.
7 minutes.
Yeah. So you got that whole deal. Plus, you got the air handlers and chillers for now. The big thing now is cigar lounges. Okay, so now you got the sports book and cigar lounges coming out in all the casinos to where they got all that air transfer, you know, and air changes. So you got the chillers that you're going to need to be cleaned, right?
Yeah, the cooling coils. Yeah, and it's all about the
So I guess when you guys go to the casinos tonight, you're going to go check out the mechanical rooms while the rest of us are
that's right.
having a cocktail.
Get a tour of the facility.
And that's what with them running 24/7 as well as casinos and operating rooms.
Yep.
A big important thing that we focus on is minimizing that downtime for the unit. So if you do run into issues, either replacement, that downtime is going to be a big constraint in the operation for either a hospital or a casino.
That's an
have to shut
excellent
down that
question,
unit.
John, that came in on. And like I said, So we know where Dylan's going to be tonight, right? He's going to the air handler, mechanical room.
That's right.
Well, you and I kind of relaxed tonight, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, he's the youngest of the three of us.
He is.
I mean,
He
right?
is. He is. That's for sure.
I mean,
He's got his young
he's-
legs.
yeah,
Young legs.
he's got to grow his oats, right? I mean,
Climb some ladders.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, it's great for you guys to come on. I know we're doing this deal in August. We got several different training workshops across the country, like Biloxi. We're gonna come back in
Yeah.
July in Vegas. We've got Monterey in September. Got Panama City Beach a couple times.
Yeah.
With the
Back to
military
the future,
bases.
right?
Yeah,
Back to the future.
Back to the
One thing,
Future.
one thing I was going to say about that, which I like about these types of event, that type of event, especially better than some of the other conferences that I've been to, is that these are solutions you could do tomorrow versus these theoretical conferences where they talk about we need to plan and we need to do this in the future. Well, that's great. You got to have that to plan ahead. But
right.
if you're a facility and you're like, I want to do that today, where are you going to go? I need something tomorrow. Give me a site. Dylan can do a site assessment today while he's
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So,
Exactly. Matter of fact, he's got 3 to do this
Yeah,
week,
that's right.
right? But like I said, our good friend E.W. Dovo, to pick on our buddy, from Ponte Vedra, he always said, if you can't implement it, it don't count.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's that whole theory about regulations and different things and theory pie in the sky,
Mhm.
this equipment, this technology. People are talking about mini nuclear, power plants
It's
for
not here.
residential.
It's not ready yet.
We're not ready for that yet. I mean, so what we're talking about is nuts and bolts, hit the street and get stuff working today.
Yeah. What we talk about
Yeah.
mini nuclear for when you can't even clean your coils. So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, every time I say nuclear, I always think of our buddy George W. Bush. I always say nuclear.
Nuclear.
So, no, I mean, it's great. Like I said, we got several workshops coming. If somebody wants you guys, where do they find you?
Well, definitely go. We have a website, aquasolutions.com, but you can contact me. I'm a vice president of business development, mestis@aquasolutions.com. And if you're in the SoCal area,
Yeah, anywhere in the Southwest, you can contact me at dclinton@aquasolutions.com.
So, I mean, look, guys, it's 100 degrees. We know they need cooling. So we know that they probably are running and probably need to get some of those coils clean.
that's right.
What's that temperature again? 218?
280, 1,000 PSI.
Okay, 280, 1,000.
Yeah, 280,
Those are
1,000.
the numbers.
Yep.
Okay. But I'm looking at that, thinking that's going to be great. We got that going. We got
Mhm.
the technology, training. It's all the training workshops we do, like the one we're going to do tomorrow, is open to anybody and everybody. Come on in, and if you got a problem, we'll figure it out. If we don't, we'll find somebody that can figure out what problem you got.
Yeah.
So, guys, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, you got it, man. But I still love your shirt because you got AQUIS, and the U doesn't stand for anything. You just threw it in.
We
there
got it.
because
It goes
of
after
word
the Q.
Because of the Q.
Air quality innovative solutions.
So again, we're doing UESC, Back to the Future, August 11th to 12th, at Panama City Beach. It's like $175. You can go on there to the website and register. And we got charity golf before it
Mhm.
that we're going to do for the veterans. Then we got the networking event that night, music, bonfire, live music on the beach, and then training the next day. You can't beat that because that's kind of like getting back to like when we were in kindergarten, right? Learning being fun.
That's right.
It's not sitting in those hard wooden chairs like this table, So, hey, with that, it's a wrap. If you want to find us or come on the show, just give us a holler and we'll welcome you to come on.